Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to this series which we are building our Frankenplanner, and today I'm going to go over what is the big deal about whether we need to have sections in our planner or maybe a catch-all section in our planner. So if that is something that you struggle with, I completely get it. I struggled with it for a long time, and I am going to talk about just my experience with it, what I do now, and just kind of give you some pros and cons to what I have learned through using both types of systems. And hopefully this, video here will help you in deciding what kind of system you at least want to start with, or kind of feel that you are more like or tending to be like in your planning. So let's go ahead and get started. As always, you will most likely hear children in the background. I have a 7-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old, and they're all about to turn in early spring, so soon 8, 4, and 2. The 2-year-old or 2-year-old still sleeps, and she is napping at the moment. However, my 3-year-old is pretty much not napping anymore for maybe about a month and a half now, and they play in the background while I try to record videos for my YouTube channel. So I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate all of your patience with that. And I just wanted to touch on that a little bit because it's definitely something that can be distracting, and I apologize for that. But I would much rather be able to get content out and just have, this community here than not be able to. So thank you so much. Well, I am going to go ahead and start with the pros for having different sections in your planner. So when I'm talking about different sections of your planner, I'm talking about, for example, having different category, lifestyle type of things that you want to keep track of in your planner. So for example, I have home, I have health and wellness, I have a budget, I even have I guess meal planning, even though I feel like that can be a planner section in itself. The other one that I'm trying to think of right now, I do have homeschool. I have a faith or Bible section. So, that's just 5 right there of things that I like to kind of keep track of. But that would be 5 different planners that I would have to buy, for example, Happy Planners, to have 5 different sections in one Frankenplanner. Okay, so if you have sections, the pro to that is that it keeps everything in one easy to find area. Okay, so for example, you can find the tab. Here I have home, I can flip to it. Here I have homeschool, I could flip to it. Here I have Bible, I could flip to it, and so forth. My budget is at the end, and I can flip to it. So having different sections of your planner, I should mention this as well. So if you overall, which we'll talk about Catchall in a little bit, but overall, if you find that a Catchall system is better for you, you still might have sections anyways. But the sections I'm talking about right now are basically getting an actual full-on planner for that section, or using one planner, and instead of using it month by month like it comes, like January, February, March, you would almost use each little tab for a section and then change the dates or get an undated planner and date each section for that. But then you would have to remove that month and put in a new month, and you're basically organizing your sections every month. So when I say sections of a planner, I am talking about having one dedicated section of your planner for each of those areas that you decide you need a section for, like a home, fitness or health and wellness, budget, and so forth. So it is a pro to that is that it is really easy to just, find your tab or your section, flip to it, and keep everything for that style of living in one area. Another pro to that is you will have plenty of space for all that you want to track in that area or notate in that area. You might want to track a little bit, but have lots of areas to write down notes. For example, if you have a health and wellness section or fitness section, you may want to track what you eat that day. So you might have an actual layout where you basically just write down what you eat that day. Or you might want to have your workout for that day and write down all the things that you did for your workout that day. Sometimes there's not enough room, sometimes there's too much room, but it actually has enough space for all of the things you want to keep track of in that one specific area of your life. Another pro, and this is probably one of my favorites to having different sections of a planner, is you have the ability to try different things. Maybe you like the dashboard for your health and wellness, but you like the vertical for your day-to-day, to-do lists and memory making. Or you like Happy Planner actually has a faith planner layout. And you might want to try that if you like to keep track of your Bible reading and faith area, or even use that for something completely different. It's for faith, but it doesn't have to be that. You have so much freedom and flexibility that you can even try something one month and change it to a totally different layout the next month and just see what you end up liking in the way that you keep track of that one area of your life. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and talk about what my cons are to having planner sections. Again, we are not talking about Catchall yet. We're just talking about planner sections. And I'm talking about sections in the fact of having a whole planner dedicated for that one type of category in your life. For example, I talked about being able to flip through or flip to the actual section and having it all in one easy area to find. That is true. However, if you don't like flipping and you want to make sure you touch on every single, I'm going to call your sections categories of your life, then you are doing a lot of flipping. And to some people that might be okay. For me, sometimes it gets to be a little overwhelming and I forget to flip to a certain section or category of my life planner. And I totally didn't, I disregarded it for the day and I lost focus is what I kind of call like when I want to do something and I don't do it. So then I was finding myself having to almost make like a little planner section checklist. Okay. And that was fun too. If you're a list person like me, it could be very fun to do that. But after a while, I felt like it got a little overwhelming to have to flip to every single different section multiple times a day. So that's one of the bigger cons to having different sections of a planner for me is just the constant flipping. Another con that I found in my experience was basically that it could be pretty overwhelming each month when I have to change out my planner. So I would have a stack of planners, this high, probably literally. I mean, some of my thumbnails of my videos will show you how many planners I was dealing with. And I would have to take out the month, put it somewhere, and then take out the fresh papers and put it in. Now, the taking out and putting in fresh papers was actually kind of fun. The taking out of the used papers and trying to figure out my filing system for that I've always had a hard time with because I can never decide whether I want to have the whole planner that I had in the month together, or if I wanted to put, for example, my health and wellness in with my other health and wellness stuff. So that is another con for me, was having to figure out how I wanted to do that. It started to become very overwhelming every month, having to reorganize a whole planner of 5 to 8 sections. It just can get a little overwhelming. So when you are trying to figure out whether you want sections or a catch-all section, that is something I would definitely consider, is if you want to have to possibly purchase all of the different planners for all of the different sections that you want in your planner. And then every month having to switch those out. And that leads to my next con, was having to purchase a planner for every different section of my life. Became very expensive. However, you can get some planners very inexpensive if you don't mind which planner you're getting. So after Christmas last year, my mom and I went to Michael's and Joann's and we raided their planner section and found some really good deals. I also was not that picky if a planner was old, because I don't think it's a big deal to put a cute little sticker and change the date. Although that is more time and effort in your planning or planning preparation. I think that's even when I started getting into the mini happy planners and putting them in my planner and liking the different texture that makes, but that's a whole different thing to talk about in a little bit when I start talking about the catch-all section. But it can get up there. So even when you find a good deal, say you found a $10 planner and you have 8 sections, or even 5 sections, that's $50, you know, plus tax, or 8 sections, that's $80 plus tax. So, and for me, I never was one to have all of my sections be just the cheapest planner I could find. I would find other planners that I loved, like seasonal ones are my favorite, and I would just like pay the $32.99 or whatever they are. So just know that the budget can get up there, but once you actually do get those planners, it isn't too bad. But then when the next year rolls around or whatever, you just got to watch the planner addiction, okay? It can become an addiction. And the other con that I found to having sections in my planner is it can get pretty bulky, and I had to reevaluate my planning system very, very often. So I would have, let's say, I mean, I could easily have 8 sections, okay? But let's say 5, let's just round it to 5. I would have 5 different sections in my planner, and it got pretty bulky. They do have extended discs. That's another thing to buy, which is, you know, once you get them, they're fine. But basically, I just got tired of having a bulky planner as well. So it just depends on your style. If you don't mind having a bulky planner and you like having everything in one in one planner but different sections, I mean, there's something that I just really loved about it as well. It was like everything had its own little room in my planner, and I loved that. However, currently, as you can tell from probably the way I'm explaining some of these, is I do the catch-all section of my planner with other sections that I will explain as well, or I should call those tabs, because when I'm talking sections, again, just a reminder, I'm talking about every little area or category of your life that you want to plan would have a different section or planner in your Frankenplanner. And one of the last cons to having different sections is it's going to cause you to have more storage at home. I'm talking like a place to put all these planners. And if you don't have a lot of storage, or it's not easy to access these planners for you every month, it can get a little hard to organize. It can get hard to look back on if you are wanting to keep these. Like, I like to keep a lot of them as life journals. I like to look back at them to see what I was doing or where I was at or how I was feeling and thinking back then. So if you want to be able to look back at them, storing them can become pretty excessive. So just a few things to think about for pros and cons of having sections in your planner. Sections meaning an actual planner for each section or category of your life that you are wanting to plan and organize and keep track of. All right, you guys, now we're going to talk about having a catch-all section, okay? So I'm going to say that using the word section here is just, I guess it's just going to be used a lot, and you're probably going to hear it about 100 times. But I choose to use a catch-all section or layout of my planner for basically most everything life category wise. The sections that I have or different areas of my planner are not whole planners like I was talking about previously. I have my actual planner section is my home, because honestly, everything that I do or to keep track of, I mean, it's not technically my home, but that's what I've called it. And nope, it's just a little homemade tab that I put on there myself. But then I have homeschool, then I have Bible, and I have a yearly section for any papers that I need to just hang on to for more than a month or two. I mean, you know, pretty much a year, or trackers. I put some of my trackers in there, and then I have a budget section. So technically, I have 2 planner sections in my Frankenplanner because I have chosen to use, so I have a budget planner and then I have a catch-all planner. So the other sections are more reference sections, or maybe where I keep notes or something that I might need to basically refer to be honest. So my catch-all section, I'm really loving right now. I have been using it for quite a few months now, probably a good 6 months. And I create a lot of those planner layouts myself. And as many of you know, and if you don't, I just have a passion for creating it myself. I have a passion for finding out a layout that works for me in that current season that I'm in and the needs that I have. So all of the cons about having different planner sections, those were affecting me so much that I wanted to just have a catch-all section. Now, the pros to having a catch-all section are kind of, you know, the opposite of my cons to having planner sections, but there's just very little flipping. I just can't flip through my planner all day long. And as much as I liked having a little nook and cranny in my planner or a little room in my planner for every section of my life, it was just getting to be too much flipping when I was so busy. I mean, every moment I have a little peace and quiet, I'm interrupted. I have 3 little kids around all day long, so I couldn't be flipping through my planner. I kind of needed everything in one area. I wanted to be able to lay out my planner and have it all right there, or even if I had to flip 1 page or 2 pages, that's okay with me. But to have to flip to a different section and then possibly flip a couple pages in that section, it was just a little too much for me, and it was becoming overwhelming. And it was honestly kind of starting to discourage me from getting into my planner every day. I was finding that I wasn't staying focused in all my areas that I wanted to be focused in. So I decided to have a catch-all section. So the pro to catch-all section, very little flipping, no flipping at all, depending on how you want to set up your Frankenplanner. The other thing, and I have some notes on the side here, but is you don't forget what you're wanting to track, basically. If everything is in one section, you don't really forget that you're wanting to track your food. You don't forget that you're wanting to get to your to-do list. You don't forget that what you're having for dinner that night, because you might have already written it down, or your meal plan. If you're even budgeting, which is possible to budget on your catch-all section, you might be writing down the things that you're buying throughout the day in that one area. Gratitude. I mean, it all can be in one area. And I know that sounds like a lot on a page, and a lot of times that's too much for our brain, or for some of us, that's too much for our brain to look at all in one. However, you just kind of got to find the system that works for you. And if that sounds like too much, then maybe a sectional planner is what will work for you. So you're going to find that out as we go. So another pro to having a catch-all section is if you are finding that you are not using your planner enough or as much as you hope to on a daily basis, having a catch-all section might actually help you with that. I feel like you're more inclined to use your planner daily and throughout the day because it's just easier to see it all in one place. That at least is my experience with it, because that is something that I struggled with. And like I mentioned before, I had to kind of make a list of the different sections I needed to visit. And by the end of the day, if I didn't visit that section, I would go through that list and see which ones needed my attention. However, still some sections didn't get my attention, because by the end of the day I was beat and I was done. I wasn't ready to get into those sections and spend the time there anymore. But having my catch-all section, I am able to spend the time in all those areas because they're right in front of my face and I can see it. I mean, for me, it's out of sight, out of mind. But when it's right in front of my face, I can stay focused on my goals and what I really want my focus to be and intentions to be for that day. And so finally, I guess the final pro to having that catch-all section, which I'm sure there are many, many more that I'll think of later, but it's just it's just easy to lay it out on my counter or wherever I'm spending my time that day. I will go ahead and show you. So the way I have mine set up is it's pretty much the current week is pretty much in front of my tab for the planner. So then I open my planner up. I should turn you around. I open my planner up to that tab, and then I have everything for the current week right there. I do use a good, this is just kind of showing, I do use about 4 pages for the week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you around. I'm going to show you how I use my catch-all section of my planner. I'm going to show you the other sections that I have in here, and hopefully having this to be able to see my catch-all section will help you figure out if you'd rather have a catch-all section or have different sections in your planner. I know I don't currently have a planner with different planner sections or different planners for each section of my life, but I do have videos in the past that I absolutely love, and you are totally welcome to go back and look at many of those videos and see how I planned. I would say checking out the flip throughs or checking out the planner setups would be the best ones to check out for that. Okay, you guys, so this is just my setup right now. I actually never ended up creating my cover that I told you guys I wanted to create. I just turned this one inside out. This was the inside before, and this was the cover, and I just turned it inside out to kind of be something kind of, I don't know, plain for the season. But this is what I'm talking about. So I have my main section here, which I should probably change it from home to catch-all, which I will do eventually, but it's not the first thing on my to-do list. So I put my finger there and I flip to my actual current weekly. So these are, I'm going to take these out because this is something I was just kind of trying out for, let's see, because I actually love being able to put different sizes in here. So this is my actual weekly spread. This is what I have it open to on a daily basis because I keep track of all different things. I keep track of what's for dinner tonight at the top. I keep track of my to-dos here on the list or today section. And on this day, I actually had some meetings and stuff. So I went ahead and put just a time from 9 to 4 is kind of like the day-to-day grind kind of stuff for me. And I had a meeting at a certain time and I didn't want to forget about it. Plus I wanted to try that out. So yeah, as you can see, I have my to-dos going on here. I'm even able to decorate it. Here is my homeschool section, and homeschool is pretty much Monday through Thursday, some things on Friday, but that is something I keep track of on something separately with my son. But this tells me what my lessons are. I have my day-to-day routines, which are all goal-focused. We are going to get into that eventually as well. And then I have my running to-do list over here, which as you can see, I kind of section it out a little bit. But here's where I do some different sections for Etsy, for YouTube, and other. This is more like my next item to do for these areas. This is my running to-do list. I'm going to actually check it off here because I took care of that and I took care of that. So, and then here I sometimes will write down what I gave my kids for lunch. Sometimes I'll write down what we ate for dinner, but now that I'm writing them down up here, I'm enjoying that because I like to ask myself in the morning, first thing, what's for dinner tonight? So here I ended up actually using it for my weekly prep. So the Monday through Sunday thing doesn't really imply here or apply here, but I am thinking of writing down what I give my kids for lunch. And on the left side, or the same side page as the beginning of the weekly, This is kind of something that I play around with a lot. I'm using this for a cleaning system, but with 3 little kids right now, I've kind of had to let some of the deep cleaning go, but I'm going to be incorporating this a whole lot more. I also just have a long list section here in case I need to keep track of anything there. On this side, it keeps track of what I'm eating for the day. I like this section here for my goals and just a little decor. What I think about filming up here. I've put ideas for next week's dinners here. However, I am going to be taking this section and being it's going to be each area of my life that I'm trying to be intentional in. And then just my grocery list. So honestly, this is why on my Etsy shop, I call this my everything planner, because this is where everything is. This is where everything goes. When I take it out to put it in my, when I take the month out, I put it all together. Everything's in the same spot. Sometimes I'll even write memories down here because obviously there's room to write memories for the day there. I'll put little hearts and put a memory that I enjoyed with my kids. And there's obviously like space for that. This is my everything planner. This is what I like. I like it all in one space. I can decorate it. I can have cleaning and home. I can have my day-to-day to-dos, goal-focused routines, and I can keep track of my health and wellness and stuff here as well. Oh, and I was gonna say, here is where I wrote down some workouts. So again, it's my everything section. It's my catch-all section, and I can just keep it open and flip maybe 1 or 2 pages throughout the day if needed. So the other sections that I have, obviously here is homeschool, because I can keep track of things coming up in the future. That's basically what I have here. I might have other pages that refer to our homeschool system, but there's not too much in there. I have my Bible section, which I absolutely love. And that keeps some extra note paper also if I ever need some note paper, but that's where I do my daily Bible journaling. I have my yearly pages. So as you can see, I keep track of our lessons for school here. So no, these aren't going to go in. They could go into the homeschool section, but I have found that I like them in my yearly tab because they are for the year. And then I have my budget tab. So as you can see, I have Christmas going on in the back as well. So that is how I like to keep track of my planning. I like to have sections, but they are not actual planners for each section. For my actual planner, I have chosen to use my own layout that I have created because that's what I found works for me. But I also absolutely love sticking a dashboard planner layout in here. If I need to be any more detailed with anything else, I can totally do that. I can put it anywhere I want to. I'm actually thinking this next week I might start keeping track of Etsy and social media using a classic size dashboard layout, and I didn't end up getting to use this one. I know we're past fall, but I love it so much, so I'm either going to save it for next year. As you can see, it's undated, or I am going to use it for Etsy and YouTube next week. But you just have that freedom, and that's kind of what I wanted this video to show you, is that you have the freedom to pick and choose how you want. You can have part of your tabs be catch-all, or 1 or 2 be catch-all, and you can have another 1 or 2 be actual planner sections that have actual planners that you want to use. I don't have a planner next to me right now, but I have planners that are not Happy Planner that I have taken off the binding, cut off the binding, punched it, and put it in. And I really do enjoy just using different things. So I hope that this video helped you at least kind of get an idea of what planner sections are, pros and cons to them, and then the option of having a catch-all section or 2. Maybe you want one section to be home and family. Maybe you want the other section to be health and wellness and meal planning. Whatever it is for you. So my next video is going to be going over creating the different categories or sections of your life or sections of your planner. and I hope that you will join me for that. It will most likely post next week, and I'm basically going to take you through figuring out those for myself and how I go about that. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm so glad that you are here joining me for Build Your Frankenplanner series, and let me know if you have any questions or ideas in the comments below. You can find me on Instagram. I'm at Mandy_Chavez_chapters, and there I am able to interact a lot more with you guys too, as well as get more ideas from you guys, and just let you guys know of a lot of things that are happening. So again, I hope this helped you, that you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys for the next video. Bye.